All right. I see it is half past the hour, so I'd like to call this meeting of the Notary Masters Toastmasters to order, and we thank you all for attending. We do have the Zoom master who's put it in recording, so would simply ask that when it's your turn to speak, go ahead and turn on your audio and video. If you have turned it off, if you turn your video or audio off, turn it on at the time you would speak. And we ask that you also do keep it off when you are not speaking. Well, so welcome guests and special guests. We do enjoy your company here. We thank you so much for coming. I'd like to, if we had the time, to have everyone introduce themselves, but due to the restrictions of time, we can't do that. But one thing you could do sometimes is you can rename yourself and put after your name, the state, the abbreviation of your state that you're from. Sometimes that helps us. All right. Well, with that, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our Toastmaster for today. And we'll get our meeting procession underway. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. President, for that introduction. Today is a special open house. We have had, this is our third open house, I believe, that we've had for Notary Masters. And we have found they've been really a lot of fun because we get guest speakers who are really experts in their fields. I chose as the theme for this open house, complementary business opportunities for notaries. As notaries, we all have, we were talking before the meeting about how slow it's become, certainly in the loan world. And so how sometimes we have to diversify. And so I know that there are a number of experts in the area that also specialize in another area that goes very well with notary work. So today our guest speakers are all going to be talking about one aspect of that might interest you. And I hope that you'll enjoy the speeches and the presentations today. Complementary business opportunities. Our three speakers today are Jeff Clark from Antioch, California. He'll be talking to us about, at some point, about fingerprinting. Vern Bentz is here from Florida, and he is an expert in the area of wedding officiating, and he is going to be talking to us about that. And then we have the Queen of Apostille, Miss Judy Lawrence is here from Philadelphia. She's also was recently the host of the Philly Social, which I did not get to go to, but I was there in spirit. And Judy asked me to do a promo video for Notary Masters. I understand you had some tech trouble there, so it didn't get played.
We did, but what we are doing, so you know, is we once a week we are putting what you did on our page, so that the people that didn't get to hear it are going to get to hear it. So we had some audio issues.
And if you want to see that video, it is up on notarymasters.org as well. So you can see that nice video promoting our company, or excuse me, our club. And we really appreciate Judy and her community, as well as all of your communities. I've heard a lot of publicity this week about our open house today. And I really do appreciate those of you that spoke up for that. I know Bill gave us a nice commercial at TNT on at the end of TNT on the Tuesday as well. So anyway, we're here every other week, or excuse me, we're here twice a month on the first and third Thursdays. And next month, I wanted to make a quick announcement. We will have a third meeting on the second Tuesday, a special open house, simply about ongoing learning. And Seven Griffin from Virginia and Celicia Young Jones from Florida will be guests at that event. We're just doing this so that I was kind of very greedily trying to figure a way to latch on to the symposium. And I wanted to give us a little preview of the symposium. And Laura said it was okay. And she actually thought it was a good idea to kind of give us a nice lead into the symposium that weekend. So that said, and I will have I want to do one more quick announcement before we get started. Our buddy Bill Soroka, as you guys all know, just put out a book. And I have it here and I've been reading it. And I want, how do I do this so you can see it? There you go. And so there it is, and there is Multnomah Falls behind me. But anyways, for those that do that business challenge, that 150-day business challenge, this is a 90-day version of it. I just read this thing cover to cover, and gotta tell you, it's awesome. So if you want a good thing way to do it, I would go to Amazon and get one of these. And there's actually a downloadable version for $3, so you can watch and see that book. And Bill has been so great to our club. I wanted to do that. So thank you, Bill. Bill is actually a member of our club as well. We're still on the mend right now, but he is doing well. Did a great TNT. Hey, I want to thank you guys all. Our meeting today is going to come in 3 parts. We're going to start with our guest speakers, our featured speakers today for our open house. Jeff will speak first, and then we'll have in the middle of the meeting, we'll have Vern, and then we've saved the best for last. Well, I won't say the best, but we'll save. We will save our special guest from Pennsylvania, Judy, for last, so that we can all embrace at the world of apostille. And I do appreciate her and all 3 of our speakers today being here. The second part of our meeting will be our table topics, which Dennis LaRue will be leading our impromptu speeches. And then Valerie Preston will lead us in our evaluation portion. The evaluation portions will be smaller. You may notice our roles that we have for the open house is going to be a little bit different. We don't make them as aggressive because we want to really be all about our featured speakers today. So that's kind of why if you're used to seeing a whole bunch of different roles sliding in and out and not so much happening today, that's because that's by design for our open house. We have a special agenda for our open houses. We do have a couple of roles, though, I want to introduce. We have their first role is that of timer. And so I'm going to have Mary Phibbs introduce the role of timer for us.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, and greetings, Toastmasters and honored guests. My job as timer is to make sure our meeting is timely. I'll be timing the speeches, although I won't be giving any warnings because it may take we want you to take as much time as you'd like on the featured speeches. For the table topics, those will be 1 to 2 minutes in length, and tip of the day and ask the masters, I'll be about 3 to 5 minutes. I will be changing my background to green, yellow, and red. Green at the low end of the range, yellow at the mid range, and at the red, it's time to probably start wrapping it up. Thank you, and back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Madam Timer, and I appreciate your stepping up for that. Thank you very much. Yes. Our grammarian today is Pam Adame. And Pam, could you introduce the grammarian role and let us know what the word of the day is?
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, and welcome fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. Our theme today is complementary business opportunities, and the word that I chose was ancillary. It is a word that means an aid to achieving or mastering something difficult. And it's a notion of providing aid or support in a way that supplements something else. In particular, the word often describes something that is in a position of secondary importance, such as the ancillary products in a company's line. Thank you.
The word of the day is ancillary, and I will tell you what, this is hoping ancillary is exactly what I want to learn today, because I want to have some ancillary businesses for my own notary business. So thank you very much, Pam, for the word of the day and for taking on that grammarian role. I do not have an intro for Jeff, but I don't need one because I know Jeff pretty well. He is our, pardon me, I'm using this phrase in the most respectful and loving way I can. He's our geek extraordinaire. He's the guy I turn to for everything tech. And I find that his counsel has been great there. I also was very impressed with the fact that he has taken his fingerprinting business to a new level. And since we are all right now struggling in some cases with loan work, having something like fingerprinting there and having an expert like Jeff to talk to us about it is going to be really important and helpful. So without further ado, I would like to introduce our first speaker. By the way, Mary, just for your note, our guest speakers have been given 8 to 10 minutes. That's our target. But if we go over or under, we don't care. We want to hear what they have to say. But that's the guidelines they've been given. And here from Antioch, California, here is Jeff Clark.
Thank you, Toastmaster, and members and guests. Welcome. I'm glad I have this opportunity. Hopefully I can share my screen here. Okay. Why do you want to do fingerprinting? That's my speech today. And I'm going to answer the question before I'm going to go through this as a mini class, because I think it's important to understand the why, the what, not the how, because I'm not going to do that in 10 minutes, or 8 minutes, whatever it is. But I want to just share as much information as possible. So why do you want to get into fingerprinting? The reason is everybody needs to be fingerprinted. It's a recession-proof business. It doesn't matter what's going on in the world. Everybody will need to be fingerprinted sometime in their life. And that's the reason you want to get into it. So there's different types of fingerprinting, and I'm going to focus on ink fingerprinting today, which is everybody can do that no matter what state you're in. So we don't have to deal with if you can do it in your state or not. You can do it in your state. Ink fingerprinting is always available. So there's different ink fingerprinting. These are the fingerprinting types. There's ink fingerprinting on FD 258 cards, which are blue cards. That's primarily for immigration and employment background checks. There's the ink fingerprinting on red cards. And that's the FD 249. Hopefully you don't do those unless you're in law enforcement. And then there's the electronic fingerprinting or live scan biometric fingerprinting that I'm not going to talk about much, but those are the other types of fingerprinting: FBI background checks electronically, and live scan, which is biometric fingerprinting. And that's generally done on the state. Those are done for state level, or you can send FBI background checks electronically as well. So who needs to be fingerprinted? Okay, everybody. Employees, immigration, if you're doing something that needs a license, students going to foreign countries. I wanted to say that because we have Judy on the line, and that's important because you can send those background checks that you get back from the FBI to the Department of State, and that's an apostille opportunity. So that's another reason to get involved in the fingerprinting, is because you can then partner that part with apostille work. So what do you need to get into fingerprinting? Well, you need to get a few supplies for less than a loan signing. $125, I would say you can get into ink fingerprinting. So you need fingerprint cards. Here's some, this is an FD 258 card. Those are the prices. You can get all this stuff on Amazon. You need some ink. That's a sample of what an ink pad is. And then a card holder to hold your card. Those are the three main things that you need to do ink fingerprinting. The other stuff is just extra, latex gloves, so you don't need to get ink all over your fingers. Wipes and Cornhusker lotion is for people that it's hard to remove their fingerprints or get their fingerprints to be on the card. Their prints don't come out well. One thing that I was pointing out cards, along with the FD 258 cards, you can put this in your business. This is a child identification card. So even if you don't want to get involved with offering the service for a business, let's say you want to offer that as a service to your community, you can purchase child identification cards and promote that in line with your notary business. You can go to schools and say, hey, I'll fingerprint your kids, and you essentially give the cards to the parents who can keep track of their kids, because on the back there's identification information they can fill in, and that can be a free service that you offer to your community. Okay, and then how much can you make? Okay, so it just depends on what your market can bear. Okay, so everybody asks that question, what you can make. Well, I want you to know that 100% of what you do, what you make, is you'll be able to keep that, because these cards, besides the, when you fingerprint somebody, you collect the rolling fee, and that's 100% you. So that you get that, there's no fees involved. You don't have to pay anybody for what you're collecting. So this is a typical charge. People charge anywhere from $75 for the first card, and then they might charge an additional fee for additional cards, $25. That's just a general rule. But it just depends on your area. Some people, you'll find in some areas will charge $30, $25, and then they'll charge a travel fee if they're mobile to them or whatnot. So that's all dependent on your area, and you just need to go out and do the research like anyone else. It's just like notary work. You're going to go out, market to various businesses that need fingerprinting, and just to give some of those businesses, real estate schools would be one, because they generally need to be background checked and fingerprinted, real estate agents. And another one would be gun stores or gun schools, anybody that needs to be fingerprinted to get a concealed carry permit. That's another big one that is out there. So that's the whole ball of wax. And I don't have anything else other than that. I didn't want to go too deep, because I do teach a class on this, and I don't want to get into everything, but that is everything for fingerprinting. That is how simple it is. And just getting the supplies and marketing that you do fingerprinting will allow you to get into fingerprinting. And you can go on YouTube, and there's plenty of videos out there that will with people demonstrating how to roll people's prints.
Haven't tried it yet.
And with that, thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Well, Pam has a question. Pam?
Of course. Pam?
Thanks. Do you do the digital one too, or do you just do the ink?
Yes, I do live scan.
Live scan.
Yeah, that's actually how I got started. Was I started in live scan, and then somebody called me to do ink fingerprinting. So now I'm doing ink fingerprinting. But the ink fingerprinting, the reason I'm focused on that is because I'm in California, and a lot of people in different states, they're closed states, and they can't get into that, or it's cost prohibitive. So.
And then do we need to take like your class or something to be able to do this?
Well, you're in California. All you have to do is get a live scan and pay the money to the state with your application, and you'll be certified to roll prints. So California, you have to be certified to roll prints. All the other states, you don't really need to do anything. Sorry, I didn't say that because but yeah.
And where do I find that information? For application?
Just Google fingerprint roller, and it will come up with the DOJ website.
And let's see, there was something else I wanted to ask.
I guess I can provide that in the link. I guess I can provide that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mike?
Hey, Jeff, you mentioned the fingerprint card for kids. Is there a particular number on that card? Because I looked on Amazon, I didn't see anything besides the 258.
Yeah, you can't get those on Amazon. It's a place down in Phoenix, right next to you. It's called crimescene.com. You can go there and order them online, or they're on 16th Street in Phoenix. So So if you want to drive there and pick
Maybe I
them,
will.
I don't know if you can, if they have a storefront, but yeah, crimescene.com. That's where I got those child identification cards.
Great. Thank you so much.
Hey, Jeff, Patricia, got a question. You said you're in California, right?
Yes.
And you're doing fingerprint cards. Do you have to have that background check to do those fingerprint cards?
You have to be certified in California to do ink fingerprint rolling.
And what about the cards? Oh, yes.
That's what I'm
okay.
talking about. To do the cards, you have to be certified.
You have to be certified. Okay,
Yeah, so you have to go through a live scan and send in the
did all
application.
that. I need an attorney. I had some issues, so I needed an attorney. Okay, thanks, Jeff.
Okay.
Judy.
Judy, go ahead.
You're muted.
Take yourself off mute. There you go.
Okay. Hey, Jeff, I had read something recently that a lot of parents are getting their kids fingerprinted to be safe, so that if anything happens, God forbid, that there are fingerprints involved, and that, you know, to keep the kids safe and for identification purposes. Do you get business like that? Do you get business where a mom or a dad says, you know, no real reason, just want to have my kids fingerprinted so that if God forbid a million times anything happens, we'll have fingerprints?
Yeah, I have never had anybody approach me for fingerprints for children. And I actually, for the child cards, I don't charge anything for that. That's just a
Okay.
free service I offer. And I've offered that since day one, fingerprinting, and nobody has taken me up on it. But it's more of just a service to get my name out there. So I haven't really approached anybody, and nobody's called me about it, but I do have it listed on my website as a service. So
Yeah, I would think that would be a good way to approach people and get more business.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I just happened to read that. Bye.
And Israel.
Hi, everyone. So Jeff, this question is for you, obviously. I'm interested in actually how to get business. I'm actually a little nervous right now because I just started doing this, and I actually got a phone call about 10 minutes ago, and it's gonna be my first live scan tomorrow. And I'm like nervous because I've never done one. I practiced about 50 times with friends, but I never submitted the prints. But I just want to know if you teach or anything about how to get business. I hear you have to go to the Chamber of Commerce. I don't know. And basically I have a machine and I want to use it and abuse it.
okay, so yeah, that's a marketing thing. So what I can suggest to you, I'm gonna this is for anybody. The first thing when you do, you need to be on Google, your Google profile. So list it there so people can find you there. Okay, that you do that service. The second thing that you want to do is run some Google ads. Okay, so I know it's a little bit of money, but if you run some Google ads, you will start seeing your business pick up. And then the third thing would be to seek out businesses that need fingerprinting, like childcare centers, this kind of thing, and just walk in and say, hey, you know, I can fingerprint your employees. Any new employees that come your way, I'm mobile, I can come out to you, and that kind of thing. And you just have to, you know, put your boots on the ground and run around and try and get business that way. So once you start getting groups of people, with fingerprinting, it will start growing exponential. Man, I can't even speak. I woke up early. So but your business will grow. It will start out slow, and then over time it will start increasing because of word of mouth.
Any suggestions for my first fingerprint that I have tomorrow? It's actually two of them. It's a couple.
Yeah, so just go through the process and check the prints, make sure they look good, and you'll be good to go. don't worry about it. It's electronic. So if you mess up, just restart and do it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and with that, we're going to go ahead and thank you, Jeff, for your great presentation. And thanks for showing us about this ancillary business that it was never on my radar, but it might be. This sounds like it's something we can do up here. So anyways, we're going to move on. Our next agenda item, and thank you very much, Jeff, is our our tip of the morning. And Phil Shannon is here for tip of the morning. So Phil, could you share your tip with us for today?
Absolutely, been my pleasure, and thank you so much. My name is Phil Shannon from California. I just want to talk about the amazing notary community that's very unique. As the token non-notary in this group, and thank you for allowing me to join this group as a non-notary. As a token non-notary in this group, guys, you have so many amazing opportunities to learn and grow about your business, about your finances. I mean, I've never seen a community other than ours that is more receptive to helping everybody else. You've got podcasts, YouTube, Clubhouse, Notary Masters, the symposiums. Over the last couple months, I've been in Northern California for a symposium. I've been in Southern California for a symposium. I got to spend some time with Judy Lawrence and that motley crew in Philadelphia. I'll be at Laura's symposium coming up, and then I'll be in Dallas, Texas. So take advantage of all those amazing opportunities. And the other thing I want to add, since this is complementary business opportunities for notary work, I can't stop but give myself a little bit of a plug, because I've never seen that anything that's more beneficial from an ancillary perspective than the services that we provide. You guys, as notaries, are dealing with identity theft issues and legal issues all the time, and your clients need help, and we can help your clients. So if you'd like to find out more, you probably know that I do a Zoom every day, sometimes 2 a day, sometimes 3 a day. You're tired of me saying Zoom, Zoom, Zoom. That seems like everything, that's all I ever say, but I'd love for you to take advantage of those opportunities. So I will post my number, not in the chat, but on my name. So if you'd like to text me, get some information, please do. But take advantage of all these amazing opportunities to learn. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much for the great tip of the morning. And I think the idea of actually using Legal Shield and some of the things it offers in this particular meeting, since our theme is about complementary opportunities, I think is very appropriate. And thank you so much, Phil. Also, by the way, if you can't find Phil's phone number somewhere on the internet, you're not looking very hard. I didn't have his email address, and I mean, he's got it everywhere. So he's got that. If you want to show off how to get your name and phone number out there, follow what Phil does. He's really awesome at that. So
And you can also check most bathrooms.
yeah, I'm sure I could. All right. Hey, this leads us to our next speaker, Vern Bentz. I'm going to read his intro. Vern is a mobile notary in Northern Florida and has performed numerous weddings as a notary. He now has graduated from the American Marriage Ministries and ordained marriage officiant in all 50 states. He is gearing up to perform in front of his largest audience this Saturday on the 8th, when he will marry his 10th couple. He is also adding wedding officiant to his list of duties. He'll be opening his business in wedding and event planning. He is also wedding and event planning, which is a little different than just doing the weddings themselves, but he's actually going to be event planning. Oh yeah, I remember that. Good luck there, Vern. I hope you thrive at that. I know you will. He is also a graduate of the Udemy Schools of Wedding Planning and currently enrolled in Unboring Wedding Academy. Here he is from Northern Florida, Mr. Vern Bentz.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. And one word with Phil on the Legal Shield, ID Shield. You can get the fingerprint cards for kids and the child identification system through Legal Shield and ID Shield. So please do subscribe to it. We would love to have you come on board. Now I am going to share my screen and let's see if we can do this. Come on, share screen. There we go. Okay. So here we are. We want to officiate a wedding. Right now, only 6 states allow notaries to do weddings. And those states are Florida, Maine, Nevada, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Montana. Tennessee and Montana just adding on last year. But that does not mean that you cannot officiate a wedding. If you want to officiate a wedding, you have to go through a few extra steps. One of them being you have to be ordained or certified by your state to perform a wedding. As we know, switch over. There we go. As you know, every state is different. And with that being said, marriage laws are different in every state. If you want to get married again, you have to check with your clerk of the court or your state attorney's office. And they will tell you the forms that need to be filled out. Again, the safest way to do it is to get ordained by either the UMM or the Universal Light Church. You can receive an ordination with them, and they are legal in all 50 states. Doing a wedding is not just doing a wedding. Many a time, I've been asked to perform a wedding that was on a very short notice because the couple were so much in love with each other, so enamored with each other, they wanted to get married right away. That's fine. That's well and good. You can do your charge.
Oh, you guys ready for your lap? Come on this way.
You can do your charge up to whatever the state allows you to. In Florida, we can charge $30 for a notary stamp. However, when you're doing a wedding, you want to make that couple feel very special. You have to remember, doing a wedding, it's their day, not yours. So you want to take as much time as you have to take to plan this all correctly. In my case, with the wedding that we're doing on Saturday, I have been working with this couple for about 2 months now. They came to me with their agenda. They came to me with their plans. I sat down with them for about 2 hours, outlining everything. It's an outdoor wedding. It was appropriate they did it. They wanted to do it in the fall, out in the park. Leaves are changing. The theme of the wedding is Harvest Moon, because we do have a Harvest Moon coming up. This is their day, and I've tried to do as much as I can to make it special for them. Again, as we say, every law is different. Here's how you want to approach a well-planned wedding. Get a feel of the bride and groom. Ask them how long they've been together, what brought them together, what do they see in each other that they don't see in other people? How many guests are you going to be looking at? How is it going to be indoors or outdoors? If it's outdoors, do you have a backup plan? Formal, music, photographers, videos. Can the guests take pictures? When can the guests post those pictures on social media? All these questions need to be answered before you put that paper in front of them and say, sign here, you're officially married. Planning takes time. You have to get all the things that go with it. The caterers, the florists, the bridal gowns, the tuxedos, making sure that all of those pieces are all put together, that the stage is set for them, the couple that you're going to marry. You want to present the couple to the audience. Get the audience involved, get the guests involved with the ceremony. When the presentation is done and the ceremony is over, make sure that the couple sign the documents. Make sure that the witnesses sign the documents. Make sure you sign the document. And if you're in a state that allows the notary to do it, put your notary stamp on the certificate. If not, make sure you have a letter of acceptance from the organization you were ordained with, and enclose that with the certificate that you return to the county clerk's office, not the couple, not the witnesses, not John Doe down the street. That is your responsibility the following day or the following work day to present to the clerk of the court. Always try to do a dry run. Time given, it's always good practice. That way you're not stumble bumming around on wedding day and forgetting lines, forgetting where you're supposed to stand, what you're supposed to be doing. A sample copy of a marriage license is your responsibility to make sure that it's filled out.
We have soap, we have bleach.
And this is just a sample of how it has to be filled out. This one happens to be in California, I'm correction, Illinois and California. But they all look about the same. You want to make sure that the bride and the groom's names are properly filled out. Signatures, witnesses, all the appropriate stamps, mother, father, if it's appropriate. These organizations will help you get ordained. The American Marriage Ministries, they have a free online ordination, to officiate weddings. They also have an academy. The academy is about $297, I believe. Ordination record, Universal Life Church. That costs nothing to get ordained. You get the wedding package for about $30, including a wedding certificate and the whole ball of wax. I am currently working with Mark Gruel with Unboring Wedding. He has a fantastic little pre-download. It's a guide for how to create and perform a wedding in 5 easy steps. And you can get that download. You can also attend his academy. His academy is $397. But he does have scholarships available. And that will take some money off the cost of your university. Also, a good place to go to is Udemy, Udemy. Look them up on the internet. They have courses on just about everything you can imagine, including wedding planning, business organization, floral arrangements, bakery, contractors, vendors. It is an excellent course, and it's less than $20 to get the entire class. You get a certificate at the end that says you've been through his class, and I will tell you it is worth every penny of it. So that is all I have right now. I will turn it over back to the Toastmaster. Thank you very much, and happy weddings.
Thank you, Vern. And I guess before we move on, Judy had a question. I wanted to open it up for a couple of questions. Judy. You're muted. Oh, there you go.
I do have a question, Laverne. I just became ordained and going to launch my little business on October 17th. And when I called my clerk of the court to get any kind of information that they could give me about what I should do, I shouldn't do in Pennsylvania, I was told that under no circumstances can I return the license to the clerk. It has to be the couple. And I was told that I should put a disclaimer in there, letting them know that if they don't return the license, that they're not legally married. And I know you just said that there are no exceptions. It's our responsibility to do that. And I was wondering if you ever heard of my crazy state of Pennsylvania, who says, nope, you can't do that.
Commonwealths are usually a little bit different,
Okay.
but if you give me your email address, I'll search it for you and I'll get you back a definitive answer.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I called twice because you know how sometimes when one person answers the phone, they tell you one thing and the next person answers the phone, you get a complete different story. So
Yeah.
I called twice, and twice they said, when the couple comes to apply, they are given instructions that they have to return the signed license. And I said, you mean I can't? Nope, you can't. And
Okay.
so I would love to know what you think about that, and whether or not they're giving me the right advice, because that could put me out of business before I'm in business.
That's true. Like I said, give me your address. I will check on it.
I will.
I'm writing
Okay.
it down here right now as we talk.
Okay.
Commonwealth. Yeah, I used to live in Pennsylvania, so
Oh, I'm so glad I'm here.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you, Daniel.
I lived in the Poconos.
Okay, that's not too far.
All right, Vern, thank you so much for bringing that to the group. I do appreciate your presentation, and I thank you for that information. I've done a handful of weddings, and I will tell you, it's a lot of pressure for me. So it's not something that necessarily I want to even pursue, but I am glad that there are experts out there. So if I do get approached, and I would love to have a place to send them, just to have.
And I did find out that the guest list on this wedding I'm doing Saturday has increased to almost 90.
Wow. Well, see, a lot of pressure there.
Well, the pressure is going to be, the pressure is on the married couple not to goof up the vows, not
I
on
know.
me.
I know. That's why I got married in Vegas. All right. Anyways, thank you very much, Vern. And I appreciate that. And this is going to take us to Ask the Masters, our one time here to ask a question. And Mike, do you have a question ready for our group from Ask the Masters today? Mike Howard.
I do have a question. I just had to navigate to that screen because I actually typed it up and I'm stalling until I can pull it up. Oh, well, I'll just go off of my memory. So, dear Notary Master, anybody who's been in the notary profession for any length of time always knows that there's a lot to learn. And very quickly, we are very fast to turn around and offer our assistance to fellow notaries. My question is, how do you draw the line from when you need to, how do I say this, cut the person off and throw them out the nest? Because you don't want to be taken advantage of, but you do want to help. So that's my question.
Vern.
Okay, thank you very much. For that is a good question, because there is a point where, as a networking person, I'm trying to bring all my people in that I can to help them learn. I never tell them that they're stuck with me. I tell them, learn, here's the book. If you have question after that, then ask again. I always encourage them, get out on your own. The only way you're going to do it is by doing it. And I encourage them to come to Notary Masters to get that confidence that they can go out and be productive, be professional. I've already kicked 2 people out of my nest and told them I can't teach them anymore. So it's, as a mentor, you have to play each person individually. And I don't mean play as in, play around with them, but you have to teach each individual, and you have to learn where their point is, where they no longer need to be taught. And that's when you kick them out of the nest. But always leave that number that they can call you if they do run into a problem.
Great, thank you. Anybody else?
Phil.
That's an amazingly great question for so many different reasons, because all of us who help other people have to battle that almost each and every moment, because at a certain point in time, you have to respect your own business and respect your own time. And I try and I try and have people kick me to the curb as soon as I possibly can, because I want them to be able to go on their own. But you also have to be there for people, because people need a safety net. So make sure you're available, folks, but don't make them dependent on you. That's my tip.
Great, thank you.
I like to just give them the confidence that, hey, you're good enough to go do this, and here's some resources for you. I spent time in tech support, and I found that for many of my customers, it was best for them to show them the answers rather than to provide them the answers. So anyways, I want to be sure Desiree we'll do Desiree's comment, and then we're going to move on to Judy. So Desiree.
Hi there. Good afternoon, guys. So I want to know, with fingerprinting, is there like a centralized database like SnapDocs that offers the fingerprinting leads? Does anyone know? Or is that offered on SnapDocs? Not sure.
Jeff, do you know of a database where people look to find fingerprinting, like a directory that people can find fingerprinting experts throughout the country, like SnapDocs?
Hey,
No?
Jeff, you're a tech guru. Maybe you can create that and we can work for you.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Maybe Jeff needs to get his tech working.
I think Jack is, yeah, I think Jeff's, I don't know, looks like he's might have be doing something else. I don't know of one. I do know people that on our platforms that we do, like Notary, Rotary and Notary Cafe, it is an option you can check to say, yes, I offer this. So I do know that the Notary platforms have a place for that. So, and with that,
Got it.
yep, okay.
Hey, Daniel, I was just going to say very quickly, I know you're time constrained, but there's typically associations in just about anything and everything you can imagine.
Yep.
So I would imagine there's a fingerprinting association of some sort.
Yep. Very well. And at this point, I would like to turn to, actually, if you were to ask me what my next, for my business, what my next niche or my next ancillary business will be, I would say it would be apostille. And thankfully, we have the expert in the country for apostilles with us today. And I would love to introduce, not that she needs an introduction, our queen of apostille in our industry, Miss Judy Lawrence from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And here is Judy from Philly to talk apostille.
Okay, first of all, I would like to say thank you for inviting me to be here. It's very comfortable, very warm atmosphere, and I hope to come back many times. I did not do a PowerPoint. I decided that rather than do a how-to, which I can do the next time, I decided that I would answer a few questions that many people ask me when they're on the fence. They're on the fence. They say, oh, I really want to do apostilles, but I don't know. And so I made a list of 3 or 4 questions that maybe will help you to decide if this is the business for you. So the first thing that I want to talk about is that I get this question from everyone, which is, well, I live in such and such state, and can I do apostilles anywhere? Do I have to do them in my own state, or can I do them anywhere? The answer to that is you can do them anywhere. So because you might live in Oregon, or because you might live in Utah, or because you might live wherever, that does not mean that you can't do a job in Pennsylvania. That does not mean you can't do a job in New York. It means that you have to learn the rules and the processes for doing these jobs in different states. Now, how do you do that? Well, very simple. You form a good habit from the beginning. One of the best habits that I can tell you that you will need to form is to check your state guidelines. And so I'm in Pennsylvania, and I pretty much know Pennsylvania. I could probably do it sleeping because I've done so many of them. But if I get a job in Louisiana, then I'm on it and I'm looking at the Louisiana handbook to see what do they charge? What do they want? What do they accept, FedEx or UPS? So you want to always search your handbook, and you always want to say, okay, I can do, I will, first of all, never tell the client that you're going to do that. Always just say to the client, absolutely, I'm on it. I got your job and I can handle it. But then what you're going to do is you're going to go search those rules, or in another thing you can do is call me. And like Laverne said, that he would help me for officiating, I will always try to answer a question for you. I like to help my people to grow and succeed. The next question I get is, well, why would this benefit me? What is the benefit to me? Well, there's a lot of benefits, and I'm just going to give you 3 of them. The first benefit is you're going to add services that will make you part of a group of notaries that's different. So not every notary knows how to do it. And not every notary knows the rules and the processes, the procedures. So you're going to join this group of notaries that's a little different, and different is always good. The second thing is, if you still have a W-2 job and you're still working full-time, this is something you can do part-time as a side hustle, as a side gig, whatever you want to call it. And the third thing, and probably the most important thing for me to tell you about, is that you can enhance your income stream by doing this. Now, let me be clear, because what I'm going to say, I don't want you to take out of context. I am going to say that you set your own charges for apostees, but you cannot set the charge for a notary. A notary gets paid what a notary gets paid. You cannot set the charges for Secretary of State, because the Secretary of State gets what the Secretary of State gets. But what you can do is set the charges for travel, research, shipping. There's a litany of things that you can say, well, this is what I charge. Now, would I suggest to you that you charge $1 million for one apostille? I would not. Bill Soroka taught me something early on, and that is to absolutely find out, for anything you do, what the market bears in your area. So one thing I always say in every class I teach is, if you go to New York and you want a bagel and a cup of coffee, you're probably going to pay 25 bucks and maybe even a little bit more for that bagel and that cup of coffee. But if you come to Philadelphia and you want that bagel and that cup of coffee, you're probably going to pay 7, maybe 6. So you want to know, what does the market bear? Now, I don't know this yet, but maybe Laverne would know that when you do the same thing with wedding officiants, that you can't charge lots and lots of money if no one in your area is charging lots, you won't get any work. So you really have to know, what's your competition? What are people charging? What are people paying? And what does the market bear in your area? Okay, so I have 3 left. One of the things that maybe it will be of interest to you is that there are 2 kinds of countries. There are Hague countries and there are non-Hague countries. So one of the things you will get to know is, where are these people going to use these documents? Are they going to use them in Jordan, which is a non-Hague country, which takes a lot longer? Or are they going to use them in Spain, which is a Hague country, which is quick and easy? So when you go on Facebook and you see people saying, and they say it all the time, oh, you don't need her training, not important. Just put them in an envelope, put a check in there, send it off to the Secretary of State. I'm here to tell you, whether you take my course or someone else's course, I am here to tell you that for you to be successful in this business, you do have to learn. And it is exactly the same, in my opinion, as when you learn to be a signing agent. Because when you learn to be a signing agent, the first time you went out, you probably went out like I did, with tags, sign here, do this, do that. You know, I looked at them the night before, I looked at them in the morning. I just wanted to do it right. And then 3 months, 4 months later, when they would call me for a refi, I would just take the documents and go do it, you know, because you learn what is expected of you and what you need to do. So the last thing I want to just mention, and I looked at these phone calls and questions that I get a lot. And another question is, why does someone want to do that? Why does someone need it? Why does someone need an apostille? Why will they come to you and why will they need it? They come to you and they need it for probably 100 reasons, but I'm just going to give you 5 or 6. Adopting a child from overseas, setting up a business overseas, going overseas to teach. Young people take opportunities now and they go overseas to teach. Restructuring a property, whose name it's in. It's in their name now. It's in their parents' name now, but they want to change it to the kids' names. And inheritance. There are so many things that you get these, pardon me, calls, and destination weddings is another thing that is really important. And I want to give you a statistic. Last year in this country, there were 340,000 destination weddings. Every destination wedding gets at least 2 notaries. So that's 680,000 notaries. And I'm here to tell you, I did not do 680,000 notaries. I wish I did. I didn't. But what I'm saying is there's a lot of work out there. There's opportunity out there. So what I would like you to do is, if I piqued your interest, like Jeff said, he teaches a course, I teach a course, we all teach courses. Call me, email me, text me. I'd be happy to talk to you a little bit further. And I'd be happy to answer your questions today. One other thing, and I want to say it again, I'm really grateful to be included in times like this with people like you, because one of the things I love the most is to help people and teach people and watch them expand and watch them grow. So a great big thank you one more time to Daniel for his including me in all of this. Wow.
Thank you, Judy. And thank you for bringing your enthusiasm and expertise and everything you bring to the community. I know that it's going to be fun. I cannot wait till one day in this world. It may not be this year, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon. And for the rest of your life, no. We'll get to meet, and I'll get to give you a nice hug and
Yeah.
thank you for all you do. I want to.
And Daniel, can I make one quick announcement?
Sure.
On Wednesday night, October 12th,
Yes.
our special guest on Clubhouse is going to be Bill Soroka. So I know a lot of people have been wanting to see Bill and tell Bill how happy they are that he's getting better. And he is going to be on Clubhouse at 7:30, and he's going to talk about his new book, which is right here. I just got mine today. So if you want, make a note and come visit us at on Clubhouse on the 12th at 7:30 and say hi to Bill. I know he would appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, everybody. And I'm going to have Dennis take over and do table topics. Valerie, can you step in perhaps and just take general evaluation right away? I'm going to have to step away for a while. I've got a situation here. So thank you. Take it away, Dennis.
You're on mute still.
That better? All right. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. And table topics is a lighthearted sort of time when we get to spend listening to what your answer might be for a couple questions. I have 3 questions today. And what we'd like to do at Table Topics is hear from somebody who wasn't a speaker or who wasn't a participant in any of our planned speeches today. So I'm going to give the first one and see if there's anyone that would like to chime in and answer on this. If not, I might pick you because I know who spoke and I know who didn't speak. So, but you don't have to. If I do pick on you and you don't want to, just give me a no. But here's our first question. And I'm going to start with, what is the next opportunity that you are considering adding to your notary public business menu? Who would like to raise their hand and answer that? Remember, I can just pick on you. Don't let me do that.
Daniel, I'll go.
Uh,
Or Dennis, I'll go.
all right.
So one of the things that I'm in the process, and I've been doing it now for about 2 months, is I'm adding bookkeeping to my notary business. And so I've gotten well versed in QuickBooks Online and Xero so that I can offer those bookkeeping services to people who don't like numbers. And I feel like it pairs well because it's very much a attention to detail. And by and large, it's front loaded at the beginning of the month is when it's busy, whereas a lot of notary stuff is at the end of the month. So I feel like it pairs well.
All right, thank you. And being in that same field, I can tell you for sure that they do complement each other most handsomely. All right, I've got 2 other questions here. And would anybody like to volunteer for number 2 or number 3 before they answer?
I'll
If
go
we
for
can't
number
change the
2.
subject.
Patricia's
right.
hand is up.
Patricia? All right.
Yes.
Well, for just a second, I'm going to have you answer, pick a number. Which one?
Well,
2 or
actually, I was
3?
going to respond to the first question. I wanted to add to my business, if that would be okay.
Sure. Go.
Okay, great. Thanks, Dennis. What I'd like to add to my business is the apostille courier service that Judy offers. And because I live probably 4 miles away from the Secretary of State here in California, and I think that would be a good opportunity to take advantage to some to add to my business. Thank you, Judy.
Thank you, Patricia. All right, Vern.
Okay,
You want 2 or 3?
I'll take number 2.
All right, number 2. Is there another training opportunity or community, including Notary Masters, that you might consider?
I'll answer that very quickly. I'm also enrolled with Toastmasters in, to go on the larger screen. That is an opportunity. The other opportunity is going to the different chambers of commerce in my area. I have 3, actually 4, including Georgia. Since I am a member of the United States Chamber of Commerce, I find that that would be an appropriate addition to the notary business because I can let them know that what we're about, where we're about, and also help notaries in those states expand on their opportunities. That's what my next goal is.
Excellent. Very good ideas there. Thank you for that. And we have one final question. I'm going to go ahead and pose the question and see if we can get anybody to chime in here. You have heard some great ideas today for excellent business opportunities. So what is your next step? Who'd like to answer that? What's your next step?
For
I'll
that,
do it.
Okay, I
All right.
have, Go ahead.
I will say that implementation of anything is good. When you listen to something, if Laverne piqued your interest, or Jeff or myself, and the step you take is to make a phone call or go on Google, any implementation will start you in the right direction. Where it goes south is when you hear something and you say, oh, well, that sounds really good. And you put it in, maybe even in a notebook, and then you never look at it again. I teach people and they love my class. And 6 months later or 7 months later, they call me and say, I took your class and then I never did anything with it. And now I like to do this, but I need to go back and do it again. So the answer is if something today or yesterday or whenever, if it piqued your interest, if you like Laverne or Jeff or me and just want to talk to us about an opportunity, do so. Because that's your first step into taking your business in a new direction. I am, you know that I do a lot of apostilles and a lot of teaching and a lot of different stuff. And I'm doing wedding officiant because it sounded to me like I would really like it and that I would be good at it. So I went to someone and said, help me, and they did. And so implement.
We
Good
have,
advice. Thank you.
we have a question
I have,
from, oh, I'm sorry.
yeah, we have one more. I think, Michael, you wanted to chime in for, is that question 3? Is that correct?
Yes.
Go
that's
ahead.
Yeah, when I lived in California, I did fingerprinting. It was very, very expensive to get started. I'm now in Florida, and I'm thinking maybe I'll go ahead and start up the fingerprinting process again. I have to look into it and see what's involved in it.
All right. You always have Jeff. He could probably help you if you have questions. Is that correct, Jeff?
Yeah,
There you go.
sure.
So you got plenty of help from this community. So thank you. And with that, I will turn it back over to our Toastmaster, Daniel.
Thank you very much, Dennis, and thanks for those great table topics. And I appreciate that from everybody. And for this point, we're going to do a very brief general evaluation. And I'm going to send that over to Valerie Preston for her general evaluation and for our reports today.
Thank you so much, Mr. Toastmaster. I love this meeting, and I also need help in doing roles. So I will ask at this time that we receive a report from Ms. Phibbs, who will be giving the timer report for all of the table topics and the other areas. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, or Madam General Evaluator. I did time the speeches as well. The expected range was 8 to 10 minutes, and wow, we did really well. Jeff, 7:38. Laverne Bentz with his speech on wedding officiants was right at 8 minutes, and Judy's was just under the 10-minute mark at 9:55. So for the tip of the day, the expected range was 3 to 5 minutes, and for Phil's tip of the day, it came out at 1:48. On our table topics, we had an expected range of 1 to 2 minutes. Many of those came a little bit short, but they were very motivating to listen to. We've got Mike Howard at 35, Patricia Langford at 30, Laverne at 47, Judy Lawrence was at 144, so right within that range, and Michael's was at 30. And then the Ask the Masters with both the question and the answer, the expected range was 3 to 5 minutes. I know sometimes that can run long, but we did fabulous and came right at 5 minutes. Thank you. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Ms. Phibbs. At this time, I'm going to ask Ms. Adam, may we please have the grammarian report for those persons who said the special word ancillary.
Thank you so much, Madam Evaluator. I was listening carefully, and I heard Phil Shannon say it once, and I heard Daniel say it once, and then you just now said it too. So that's what I heard for that word of the day.
That's the chat.
Yeah, I see. Well, I see Phil. Yes.
It was all over the chat. Everybody used it in chat, but nobody. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so very much for your report. This meeting started on time, which is so important in the Toastmasters world. All the functionary roles were done and provided at the start of the meeting. No one had to beg. So that was wonderful, and keep that up. Table topics was very relevant to the theme. Thank you very much, Table Topics Master, for that, because it shows a consistent flow. We had a lot of visitors, and that was wonderful to see who are new to Toastmasters, and we do hope you take an opportunity to join us. And it was a pleasure having you. And I even enjoy seeing one or two hands from the visitors who were willing to speak as a part of the table topics. Thank you. That is my quick general evaluation. And now back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Was excellent, Valerie, and that was exactly the kind of general evaluation we really like for these open houses. I hope you got a lot from the open house. Vern, you have a quick hand? You have a quick comment before we adjourn?
Yes, I do. In answer to Judy's question earlier regarding marriages, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania Statute Title 23 PA CSA, Domestic Relations, will give you all of the information you need as far as requirements for marriage certificates, marriage licenses, waiting period, and who has to return the documents.
Can you repeat the statute?
That is Title 23 PA, capital C, capital S, capital A, on domestic relations, state statute 1303.
Great. Thank you very much, Vern, for that clarification. And I have 3 minutes. So I am only going to offer a thank you here. After we've adjourned the meeting, I am going to open up the agenda for next meeting. Is going to be on today's the 6th, will be the 20th, correct? We only have 6 meetings left in the year. One of them is an open house. And I am toying with the idea of our last meeting, which is I think December 15th, I want to say, of being a very brief meeting, maybe one speaker or none, table topics, and we open up almost the entire period just to social networking, general talk, and kind of make it like I don't know, Notary Masters Christmas party, if you will, or a holiday party. Not maybe have some table topics and a short agenda, but mostly just open it up to networking. We don't have another meeting for 3 weeks after that. It'll be the new year. So I'm toying with just having it be a low-key, light gathering of us. Typically, if this was a Toastmasters, a live toast, we'd meet at somebody's house, and I would make my award-winning chili. But since we can't do that virtually, maybe consider that for that meeting on the 15th of December. Also,
Hey, Dan,
yep.
you could just send us all the recipe and we can all make it and we can all eat it at the same time.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm actually doing a video on how I make it. So the
If
people.
he sent you the recipe, he'd have to kill you.
No, I don't mind sharing the recipe, but I'm doing a video. The people at my middle school I taught at want me to do a video on it because somebody else last year, I didn't teach there last year, and somebody else wanted a chili cook-off, and I didn't take that well, even though I wasn't teaching there. I didn't take well the fact that somebody else had a good chili other than me. So needless to say, Mr. Toastmaster, I will let you, or excuse me, Mr. President, I will let you close the meeting out. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. I really hope you enjoyed the open house. Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. We had a great meeting. I agree. This was just fabulous. And thank you, special guests, for your input and speeches today. They were really very good to inspire us and to move us on in our journey, our notarial journeys. And with that, I will go ahead and close the meeting for today for the Notary Toastmasters for whatever the date is today, Thursday, the 6th. Thank you.